Welcome back, folks. I'm Frizz, and today I'd like to take some time to talk about the wonderful world of skills in Pathfinder 2e. Skills are actually really interesting in 2e for a bunch of different reasons, but the main one to me is that they're universal. Basically, every PC interacts with skills in the same way, and that means that outside of some specific exceptions, every PC can be just as good at a skill as any other PC. So, everyone cares about skills, not just skill monkeys. But let's just jump into it, shall we? So first off, due to how Pathfinder 2e allows for dramatically more freedom in ability scores than Pathfinder 1st Edition or D&D 5th Edition, I'm serious when I say that just about anyone can be good at every skill. While a fighter probably won't have as good of a crafting bonus as an inventor, it'll probably be pretty close since it's very feasible to have a high intelligence score on a fighter. This holds true for, literally every skill. Want to play a wizard who loves hitting the books and hitting the wrestling gym? Totally doable. Even though they won't have the same, strength as a class, whose key ability score is strength, they're still going to have good athletics. This just allows for so much build versatility, and I adore it. Another thing that I like is that Paizo chose for skills to not be very complicated. Most skills only have a couple of explicit uses according to the rules that are written down, and this makes them, skills super easy to pick up and learn, which is really useful for people who are new to the system. And this is doubly important in my mind because using skills in combat is both really fun and also really useful. But the reason why skills being simple isn't a bad thing is just because of skill feats. If you like a particular skill, you can choose how you want to get better at it by taking skill feats that take you more in that direction and give you new ways of using that given skill. Do you want to be absolutely terrifying? Intimidating Glare is right there. Want to know a little bit about everything, including learning false information? Dubious Knowledge is a really, really fun feat. Basically, skills start simple, and complexity is a voluntary choice on the side of the player, which is way better than having a complicated system that everyone is forced to interact with. Something else that I really like is the balance of what ability scores are associated with which skills. I know that sounds exceptionally nerdy, but that's what this channel is all about, so deal with it, I guess. Basically, there isn't any given ability score that is just straight up the best when it comes to skills. Dexterity is associated with 3 different skills, Charisma and Wisdom both have 4, and Intelligence has 5. None of these skills are remotely necessary to have, but they are really good. And this gives, say, a intelligence-based character a lot of variety in the kinds of skills that they are going to be particularly good at due to their high intelligence. There's just a lot of versatility there, and it's really nice. You might have noticed that I didn't mention how Strength's only skill is Athletics, but I'm actually also a fan of that. Athletics is one of the more versatile skills in the game, and Strength-based characters being able to get a ton of use out of skills without having to invest in a lot of other ability scores or increasing their proficiency a lot to make up for a lack of ability scores is really good. For example, if Paizo decided to split up athletics into a climbing, swimming, and wrestling skill, that wouldn't really work since those are all really, really niche, and it just wouldn't be particularly good for strength-based characters. So keeping them all combined as one skill allows it for it to be a really strong skill that has a lot of uses, even if it doesn't have uses in a lot of circumstances. But it means that strength-based characters are only going to have that one skill, even if it is super versatile, that they can actually use their strength for, which is a really nice trade-off, really. Another thing that I thought I might as well bring up, since it's pretty important, is that while I've spent a lot of time talking about ability scores so far in this video, not having a particularly good ability score for a skill doesn't mean that you don't have a reason to take it or use it. Proficiency rating matters just about as much as your ability score does, past the first couple of levels, so for most uses, you'll probably be fine even if you don't have a super high modifier for a skill, especially if you want to use that skill out of combat. Now, despite all the praise I've been hucking towards skills in this video, I do have some complaints. Mostly, while skill feats are very, very fun, there aren't nearly enough of them. Some skills have tons of different skill feats that are suited to the different ways of using that skill, but others hardly have any skill feats associated with them. Like, medicine has tons of different skill feats that are absolutely fantastic, but performance hardly has any. While I don't expect for Paizo to put out a book that focuses just on skill feats, I would really appreciate if Paizo focused on the skills that are lacking in feats right now in regards to any of the books that they're currently putting out. So basically, it'd be really nice for Paizo to add to the skills that are currently lacking rather than giving more focus to the skills that already have a lot of cool stuff. Overall, I'm a huge fan of skills in 2e, if you can't tell. Really, they're a ton of fun, and I find myself wanting to increase all of my PC's intelligence scores just so that I can be trained in more skills in every campaign that I play. They are really fun and just work fantastically as a vehicle for most PCs to use to interact with the world outside of combat situations. Thanks for watching. Skills are fun since they touch literally every PC in the game, unlike other aspects of 2e as a system. What do you think about skills as a whole, and what is a skill feat that you'd like to see added in the future? Let me know in a comment down below, and while you're down there, please consider subscribing or joining as a member or something like that. My members really help me out a lot, and they also get some fun benefit for it. Regardless, until I see you next, live a wonderful life.